Welcome back to my channel. This playlist here is going to be dedicated to vintage fashion. When it comes to vintage fashion, it is very important that you understand your style very well. Without understanding it, you would be lost as to how to go about drafting your pattern, the techniques to apply to achieve a particular result, and even deciding on the type of fabric to use. In this video, we shall be drafting a pattern for this particular blouse, introducing the slash and spread method to achieve the drapes in the front, and also the slash and spread method to achieve the gathers at the back of the dress. We're also going to discuss the fabric that will be suitable for it. This here is our back bodice. It is indicated CB, and here is our front bodice. It is indicated CF. This is the center front and this is the center back. We're going to go ahead and decide the length of our dress. There's a reason why the length of the back and the front are not the same. This dart here influences the length of the front bodice. By the time you close this dart, the front bodice is going to be of the same length with the back bodice. I hope this clears it up. I'm just going to match the waistline like this, front and back together, and then I would in fact hold it down with a tape so that it doesn't move and we're able to create a perfect line. So let's say from the waistline here, we're going to measure, say, it depends on your height. You can decide to go with the entire length of your bodice block. In my case, it's 25. So from the waistline, if from my shoulder point here to my waistline, say is 16 at the front, and then or 17 or 18, it means that the length I'm going to increase here to make it 25 is going to be 7 inches or less. It depends on one's measurement. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure 7 inches like this. I'm using the centimeter side, and here I have just measured 6 centimeters. Like I said, it is largely dependent on what you're working with, your own size. Some people have longer torso and others have a short torso, so it depends on your torso. So after marking the 7 inches here, next thing I'm going to do is do the same thing on the center front line. We're going to mark the exact same inches again. I'll then go ahead with a straight line and connect it like this. From center front line to the side back, like this. So this is our center front line. Now we'll come back to the side of the front bodice, and then we'll measure, say, 3 or 4 inches from the waistline. We go ahead and then we measure between 3 and 4 inches. It depends on what you're working with. Now at this point, you go ahead and measure, say, 2 inches or even 1 inch, between 1 and 2 inches from your back waistline down, either 1 or 1.5 inch, between 1 and 1.5 inch, your preference. You then go ahead and connect this line here to this center back line like this. Now at this point here, you're going to use a curve and connect this point to this point. From our design, you'd notice that the front bodice has a curve in front. It's not flat. And this is what we have. Now the waistline is going to be cut out to separate the upper bodice from the lower bodice. And then we'll go ahead and work with the lower bodice. In both cases, that is the front bodice and the back bodice. I will now go ahead and separate them like this. Then continue working. So I have gone ahead and separated the upper part of the bodice from the lower part like this. This part here, the lower part for the back, is not needed anymore. Same thing with the lower part for the front, it's not needed anymore. We're going to make sure that when you wear it, there's no bulge around this area on your back. we're going to make sure it lies perfectly. To do that, we're going to redraw our back line. First of all, whatever measurement we use, it largely depends on your size. So if you're not someone who is very curvy at the back, what I usually do is I measure ½ inch from the center back line here at the waist towards the side of the bodice. So I measure ½ inch like this. I would go ahead and measure ¼ inch here at the neckline area. So using my curve, I'd connect it. That's the ¼ inch to the center back like this. And then for this one, it's going to be a straight line to the waist line. Like this. So here you have it. You have ¼ inch here and then you have ½ inch here. From the waistline here, you're going to use a curve and then you connect it to the remaining part of the bodice block. You don't use a sharp curve, you use the side that is not all that curvy. So you go on and take out the unwanted parts. Next thing I'm going to do is from this point here, I'm then going to go ahead and measure ½ an inch as well. So I'll measure it like this and mark. Using a straight line, I'll connect it to this waistline like this. Using my ruler, my scissors, I'll then go on and cut it like so, towards the end but not completely off. Then go ahead and close it like this. But because of the style we're working on, I'm just going to go ahead and trim it off, the excess, like this. This is it. So by the time we're done working, what we're going to have left is something like this that connects to this. You'd realize after merging them, there's still excess here. It's not a problem. You just go ahead and snip it off with your scissors. So everything would now be equal. So here it is. I have joined it back together with the tape. Now, we'll go from somewhere here that's above the waistline by 1 inch, and then we'll mark like this. Using a ruler, we're just going to go ahead and connect it to this side of our bodice like this. That's the center back waistline. Just draw a line like this and connect the two together. After which, we're just going to go ahead and then cut it off like this. So this here is our upper bodice and this is our lower bodice. You notice that the upper part, that's the upper dart, runs into this lower part here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to close both darts. We'll then go ahead and slash the waistline, separating both pieces. So we'll be able to close the darts. We'll slash the darts like this. Then we'll bring them back and join them like this. With your pattern, that's a large pattern, you would notice that there's a bump around this place. The line there would no longer be smooth. What you do at that point is to go ahead and blend. To blend is you redraw the line and then make sure it is straight, then cut off the excess. We have closed this dart. The next thing we're going to do is to close the lower part of this dart. So you go ahead and slash So here it is. I have gone ahead and closed the darts. You see, when you put this like this and then you bring this way, you'd realize there's a space left out here, which is this dart here. Now by the time you close this dart, everything would fit in perfectly. At the back, there's a garters around the waist area after you've zipped down the dress, and in fact a belt to create a bow. So I'll take this away and then bring in a fresh piece of paper like this. Now you'd notice that this part of our lower part of our bodies is not straight anymore, and it's not curved, it's kind of slanted. That's because we closed the darts, thereby increasing the size of the hip around this area. So I'm just going to go ahead and place it like this and hold it down with a tape. Next thing, I'm going to bring the upper piece and then make sure that they match at this point here, because this is the side. So I'll make sure they match like this. Then also go ahead and hold it down with a tip like this. So ordinarily, I'm supposed to have gone ahead to cut out these pieces like this on the brown paper and continue working with the brown paper, but I don't want you to get lost. So I have decided to just glue it to the brown paper instead. Remember, after closing the darts and putting everything together, we had crooked lines, and there aren't crooked lines in pattern drafting. So we'll just straighten it like this. And then for this one, we'll just go ahead and redraw the line again. And this is what we have. And this is what we have in the end. I'll bring in the back and put them together so you'll see what we have. See? And this is the space we still have, the one that is our darts. After closing the darts, everything will be perfect. But this is what we have for now. So we're going to continue working with this. We're not done yet. You can choose to leave it like this with this space here to go ahead and create the gathers by closing up the space here. And if you want more gathers, you can just go ahead and create a slash line here and then go on and open it up, which is what I will do now. I'll just create one slash line. If you want to have more gathers or fuller gathers, you should create more slash lines and then you spread like this. Next thing I'm going to do is this one here, the upper part is going to remain constant, which means it's not going to move. I'm going to hold it down with a tape, then go ahead and open it up. That's spread the lower part like this. Now I can go ahead and spread it by 1 inch or 2 inches, depending on how full I want it to be, or 1.5 inch, but it shouldn't exceed 2 inches. Now I'd leave it like this to be able to close this and then know where to cut exactly. I'm just going to go ahead and then fold this part like this and then bring it up to this part so that they match. That is the white papers match like this. Next thing I'm going to do is to go in with my scissors and cut. So this is what we have. And here we are done with the back. After you might have closed this dart, that's this particular one here at the upper part of the blouse, and it is now time for you to join this part and this part together. At all times, make sure that when gathering, you gather this lower part here towards your neckline. Instead of gathering like this downwards, you gather upwards like this. And we're done with the back. Next we're going to work on is the front.